Alright, welcome back.
Chris was gonna tell me about,
Oh, yeah. So, I understand why people like Skyrim, right? But, like, Skyrim is way too much of the, like, what the f am I doing? You know what okay, I get to a point and I just go, alright, like, what do I do now?
And you don't like the exploration, Chris?
No, like, people are so heavy-handed on that shit nowadays, where they're just like, games shouldn't hold your hand, they should let you do whatever you want, and blah blah blah, and people argue that Skyrim is too handheldy, and I'm just like, I don't disagree, but at the same time, I get immediately tired of a game if I have to keep trying to find the thing that I should be doing.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Because I have a lot of games I still have to play. If I have to spend hours figuring out what the I'm doing next, I'm just playing the next fucking game on the list. I'm not fucking... I got too much shit to do in too little time to wander the fucking plains for 6 hours trying to figure out what the I'm doing in it. It's the reason why I don't like playing Minecraft, because Minecraft is like, they put you in a world and then they're just like...
Too much.
Do a thing, and I'm just like... Okay, and you do, like, the basic shit, right? Like, you get the basic resources and you build a house, but then once you finally, like, build a base and you kind of have everything you need, I just kind of get to the point where I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore.
If we approach real quiet like, we might be able to...
I caught them.
Nice hands.
Great job, Sora!
But yeah.
Yeah, I get it though.
Think that's all of him?
You need to like that type of a game to be able to play them.
It's good for people who like to make their own fun.
Yeah.
I don't like making my own fun.
Yeah.
I much prefer a well-crafted and fun story with interesting gameplay.
And that should do it.
It's why I get, like, that's why I'm so disappointed that there's just, like, barely any linear games anymore. Everyone's gotta make a 60-hour open-world game, and, like, that's the entire game genre.
Yeah, I both love an open-ended game and like a set story.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I like fucking, I like how the Need for Speed games do it. They give you an open world to race around and enjoy, but, like, they give you fucking, like, here is your mission. Go do it.
Here's your story missions. You have other missions if you need to.
Yeah, like, okay, cool. Well, I know what I can do, and I know exactly where to go to do it. Like, sounds great. I hate Breath of the Wild, and it's like, here's 12 photos taken in random places in the world. Go find them.
Are you
It's
saying
like,
Breath of
no.
the Wild had too much, like, hey, just go find shit?
Yes. And I know that's, like, the big selling feature of that game, but that made me get really fucking sick of that game real fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did this happen anyway?
I much prefer... I know people... See, people hate it because people don't like linear... They're like, if you're gonna make an open world, why make it linear? Like, what's the point? Just make a linear game. And, like, I don't totally disagree with that, but at the same time, it's like... Because it gives you what you need. It gives you a lived-in, breathable,
direction.
realistic world, but it also gives you a where to go to continue the plot.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with having that?
I get it.
I mean, eventually Breath of the Wild starts doing that, too.
After you
Like,
done
once
a
you
little exploring.
find... Yeah, like, once you find, like, the right thing, then it's just like...
Handle them.
But here's the thing, is you still have to just randomly come across that shit, which bugs
Yeah.
me.
Unless
And
you
it's-
know about, like, the direction of a town.
Yeah.
You're never gonna find a town, and it's funny because the towns in Breath of the Wild, the characters in them have like an actual like
Yeah, routine and life.
routine and shit.
Like, I went to a town, they told me to go to a mountain.
Another town?
They told me to go to a mountain in the east or whatever to fight the ice dragon. Or the wind dragon.
Yeah.
You know the one that's on the ice mountain.
Yes.
And I'm like, alright, and then as I, like, start going there, I realize that I'm, like, horrendously unequipped for it.
Yep.
Like, I don't have any clothes to do, and I don't
Ice
have any,
things
I have
and
no
shit.
knowledge on how to make food that gives me heat to go through the ice world.
You're just
So-
not MLG Pro.
So I
like
just,
was.
like, shittily struggled to get to this mountain. I did it. But I just, like, shittily struggled to get to this fucking mountain, which I found really annoying, and then I had to fight the dragon. which-
the bird thing.
No, the dragon.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
On the
now.
ice
Yeah,
mountain, which
I know what you're talking about.
I might have done too early. I'm not entirely
no,
sure.
you didn't.
Okay. It seemed really hard for no reason, because I feel like I was not equipped to handle it.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing about that
Yeah.
is it's so open world. Yeah, you can go fight the final boss within 30 minutes of leaving the tutorial area.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can also like go the way the game kind of tells you to. Which if you do that, you go find Impa and then you do some other bullshit.
Yeah.
And then that's like, oh, okay, that's all right. And then the game kind of naturally goes, hey, here's the first Guardian, go this way.
Yeah.
And it's the big elephant one, which gives you the most useful ability.
Yeah.
Because when you defeat the divine beasts, you get like a fancy, unique, overpowered ability.
Yeah.
And the one you get for defeating the elephant is literally a fairy every 30 minutes real time.
Nice.
Which I'm like, yeah, that's literally the best one for new players.
Yeah, that is true.
That is the one Stephanie needed quite a lot.
You definitely... Breath of the Wild is definitely harder than any previous Zelda game, I think.
I agree.
That's for sure.
It's both harder and not at the same time.
Like, I just recently rebeat Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah, that
I
game
can't even say rebeat. It's like the first time I actually beat Ocarina of Time.
properly beat it.
Yeah. And, like, that game is hard. It's not, like, really hard. Like, I never got a game over, but I definitely died several times and had to, like, revive by a fairy.
Yeah. I was playing through, this was a couple of years ago, so I probably could go back to it now and properly do it. But, back when Skyward Sword was just for the Wii,
Yeah.
and you needed that fancy doohickey to stick on the bottom of your Wiimote,
Yes.
I had played through Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
I got all the way to, like, the second to last thing,
Yeah.
and, then I just kept fucking failing on the Shadow Realm thing,
Oh, really?
and I was just like, fuck it, I'm done.
I don't think I
Did you ever play Skyward Sword?
I almost beat it too. I didn't beat it. I got sidetracked by other games and then never went back to it. I should really go back to it and finish it because I think I was at like the end, right? I think I had like one dungeon left and then probably like Ganon, and like that was it.
So you go through all the actual ones, and then you go back to the areas and you do it in like the Shadow World or whatever. I don't remember what they're called, but
yeah, I know it.
And I got to, I think it was the Mines one, which is like the last one.
Yeah.
On the continent. But I found out later, hey, after you beat all of them in on the land, you have to go back to Skyloft and do it in Skyloft.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So I was pretty close, but I wasn't all the way there.
Right.
Which was annoying.
I get that. Yeah, fucking, it was, Breath of the Wild, right? I beat the dragon in Breath of the Wild, right? The first dragon guy.
Yep.
He gave me whatever the fuck it was he gave me. I couldn't be bothered to care.
I know exactly what you're talking about now that I think about it.
I think he tells you to go somewhere, right? That was, like, his thing. And, I went there, or I started heading in that direction. And then fucking, like,
Oh, he's got a new hat.
I was doing just any,
Things.
one of those, what are they, shrines or temples?
Shrines.
I would just hit, like, any shrine that I saw along the way. Which did involve some, like, fun shenanigans where it was, like, there was one that was, like, surrounded by spike webs or some shit.
Yep,
And it was,
I know
like, you
exactly
can only
what
get
you're
up to
talking
this
about.
with, like... And I was like, oh, I probably need that move that, like, boosts me up, and then I can, like, fly over the spikes.
Yes, you can do
And
that.
instead, I just climbed up a really big-ass mountain and
Yep, you can
glided
do that
over
too.
to it. And then had a really hard time leaving because I was surrounded by spikes and had a hard time getting enough height to get over them.
What I love about that is there's actually the proper way to do that shrine.
Yeah.
It's right by a stable, if my memory serves right, so I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. This one was in the middle of a lake.
Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about still.
Yeah.
You use the Cryonis, the ice one, to make an ice pillar so you can jump over the spikes.
That would probably make sense. I don't think they made spikes high enough. Ice pillars high enough, though.
I don't remember. It could
know.
have been a different one than I'm thinking of.
Either way, I was
But
doing
yeah, I was
those.
just like, huh.
But, like, as I did that shrine, I, like, jumped out of that shrine and, like, jumped into the river to, like,
You
go...
realized you weren't having fun anymore?
Well, it wasn't that. It was at that moment that a Zora just showed up randomly and was just like, "Hey, I heard you were looking for the point. Come with me." And I was just like, "Fucking finally, the point of what I'm doing."
Yeah.
And then I had to go to Zora's Domain, which took a long time, required many hard enemies, and I didn't even get to Zora's Domain before I went. And then I just haven't
It's a
picked it up
nice
since.
game. That was one of the games we were like, maybe we'll play on the show, and you were like, well, if we play it, you're playing it.
Yeah, I don't want to play it. It's not that I don't want to play it. Eventually, I'm gonna play it. I mean, I started it. Eventually, I'll finish it. But like, I hate games where it's just like
Too open-ended.
do a thing, and I'm like, all right, cool. What am I doing? Where am I going? Why should I give a shit?
Too open-ended.
I mean, we might. I mean, if you want to have a really bad time, we can play it with mods, and have horrendously long loading screens.
Only if we can use Thomas the Tank Engine.
To be fair, that definitely killed a lot of my enjoyment of it, because that's not on the game. It just killed a lot of my like wanting to go back to it, which is
Mods?
it's not even so much the mods that were the problem, but I was playing it through an SD card on my Wii U.
Yeah.
Because haha, I can load mods in. The mods are funny. But it's like the worst fucking way to play, because the game is too big to be played off of an SD card, and the loading in that game, especially on the Wii U, is already like not greatly optimized anyways.
Yeah.
So like, it literally, like, if you die, it loads. So anytime you die for any reason, it has to load, and it takes like 5+ minutes to load back into the fucking world, and I'm just like, yeah, this is not good. The stuttering was fine. The, like, getting into combat and then having to wait up to, like, a solid, like, 30 seconds to a minute for the game to register combat mode has activated. You're done loading combat. Start fighting? Fine. Every time I needed to switch a weapon to a different weapon that hadn't been loaded into the game yet takes, like, 10 seconds to load. Fine, I can deal with stuttering like that. It's every time I die, I have to wait 10 fucking minutes to get back into the game was too much. Oh, like, this is ridiculous.
That might have been your fault.
That's fine. Well, that's not any of my problems with the game. My problems with the game aren't anything to do with the shitty loading. I know that that's 100% on the fact of how I was playing it.
Yes.
All my problems with that game come from the fact that, like, it's just a lot of, I don't know what I'm doing, and why should I care?
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, I had a good time with it. Stephanie had a good time with it.
yeah, everyone had a good time with it. Fucking, like, it's literally...
If you were lame!
It's literally the greatest game of all time, according to the internet.
Oh, yeah.
The best Zelda... I literally said this multiple times, where people... I was talking to a friend of mine who agrees with me on it, which is... He was like... Everyone likes the new Zelda game. Everyone thinks it's the best Zelda game ever, and I'm like, yeah, that's because it's like not a real Zelda game.
Yeah.
And they were like,
unfortunately, a little bit
and they
true.
immediately went, oh yeah. I'm like, it's not really a Zelda game. It's literally Minecraft with a Zelda skin. Like, it's not really a Zelda game.
I wouldn't say, I don't know if Minecraft is the right game, but I understand what you're trying to say.
It's Minecraft or Ark. It's literally that game. It's a game where you go around, collect resources, and try and do stuff.
Yeah.
And there's no real, like...
it's not as Zelda-y as other Zelda games are.
It's literally, if we want to call it a game with a story, it's Ark. Ark has an end game and a story, but you build up a whole bunch of shit to get to it.
Yep.
It's literally just Ark,
Yeah.
but with a Zelda skin.
Yeah.
It's nothing special. It's just people think it's special because it's Zelda, and Zelda's never done it before. But it's literally like every other game out right now.
Well, man, you're a little bit right.
And I don't like any of those games. So why would I like the Breath of the Wild game? You know what I mean? Like, it's just more of the same shit, but with a new Zelda skin. The only thing fun about it and interesting about it is the fact that it's Zelda. So I have weird nostalgia ties to it. But outside of that, if this was any other open world survival game, I wouldn't have even picked it up. I would have been like, whatever, it's another one of these, who gives a shit.
But it's Zelda.
But because it's Zelda, and I know that if I don't pick it up now, it's going to cost me like $300 in the future, I picked it up.
This is the truest fucking
This
thing.
is the only fucking reason. Like, if it was any other franchise, I wouldn't have even given it the time of day. I would have looked at it on a shelf and been like, yeah, alright, not for me, and then moved the fuck on.
But you know it.
But because it's Zelda, and everyone says it's the greatest game of all time, I picked it up, and I had the same fucking experience I had picking up Skyrim. Everyone said it was the greatest game of all time. I picked it up. I went, I get why people like this. I do not care for this at all.
That meme with the guy. It's alright.
Like, it's alright, but like, I don't care for games like this. So, anyways, I can't wait to go back to finish it. It's on my list because I do want to beat all the Zelda games. Maybe we'll play it on the show. I do want to beat all the Zelda games, so I will eventually go back to and beat it. I've beaten a good chunk of them.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go back and play some of them, but
I've been putting it out on my Snapchat. Every time I beat a Zelda game, I put it out on Snapchat, the credit scene, and I just go, I beat blank game.
I think I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, I do it every time. I mean, I only beat them, like, I swear to God, I only managed to get around to play and beat a Zelda game, like, once a fucking year. I like that you're just hard teleported to the ground, because that one doesn't work in the air.
Yep. I should love this game.
It's a good thing you were over this ledge and not, way over there at the bottom of it.
Sounds kind of annoying.
But yeah, what was I saying?
Zelda.
Oh, yeah. So, I think so far, I've beaten Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
All the fucking handheld ones on, like, 3DS.
I love
and
the
DS.
handheld ones.
Yeah.
And I feel they don't get enough credit.
They do not. They're fucking excellent. Especially the DS ones. The DS ones are super underrated because people fucking hated the stupid tower in Phantom Hourglass, and then people hated the fact that there were trains in the fucking train one. People are fucking dumb.
I really liked the remake of what's it called? A Link Between Worlds.
Wait, remake or the one that's the sequel in the 3DS?
3DS one.
Yeah, okay. The sequel, not a remake.
Yeah.
And yes, that one is
sequel
fucking
kind of
fantastic.
remake.
Honestly, I think that was the best Zelda game. I was like, man, they should keep making Zelda games like this. This is like the best way to do Zelda games. And then they made Breath of the Wild, and I was like, well, fuck me, I guess.
I had a really good time with that, and I've been trying to get Stephanie because she really enjoyed playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And she likes Zelda. And I've been trying to get her to grab that and play it.
Yeah.
Which I might tell her to play it later.
See,
I had a really good time with it.
Yes.
And
I honestly think it's the best Zelda game.
I don't know if... I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Some people might disagree with you.
Oh, I mean,
no
most
matter
people
what,
would agree with Breath of the Wild.
But
so, yeah.
no matter what, what the hell is the word I'm trying to say here? It's really hard to play and talk at the same time.
It sure is, isn't it?
It is without a doubt one of the best ever made. It might not be the best ever made.
I think it's. I think it's.
The
reason I think it's the best, right, is because what is the number one thing every person complains about Zelda games? The number one thing before Breath of the Wild came out.
The dungeons.
No, not quite. But
I'm on the right track.
You're on the right track. It's the fact that it's an open world game, but I can't do things in any order I want. This is bullshit.
Yeah, you can do them in pretty much any order you want.
So they finally figured it out. They were like, give them all of the fucking weapons.
Yeah, you can rent them.
And then you can literally go to
Oh my god, I
dungeon
forgot about that.
Now it's an open world game that you can actually play as an open world game.
Yeah.
Perfect Zelda game. They finally fixed the formula where it's still a Zelda game. It's still dungeons, getting items, increasing your shit, exploring the world, beating Ganondorf. They finally figured it out.
Now I want to replay it.
Yeah, they finally figured out how to make Zelda open world, where you could do it in any order you wanted, and it wasn't a linear game in an open world. They finally figured it out. And then they made Breath of the Wild and threw all that shit into the trash. And I'm like, fuck this game.
I like Breath of the Wild. And
yeah.
I like that game, so I understand where you're coming from with it.
Yeah.
And I also am very sad now that I think about it.
Yeah, like, they finally figured it out. After fucking 20 years of people bitching about that, they finally figured it out. And then they were just like, well, that was cool. Trash! Breath of the World, baby!
So, you'll get a kick out of this. So, the new Pokemon's out, too.
Yeah.
So, and I know you don't really... You know it's a huge buggy mess.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's gotten a little better since they just did an update the other day.
Dude, You know it's bad when Nintendo officially made a statement about it.
Yeah, we apologize for how bad
Like,
this is.
Nintendo has never apologized for any of their games ever.
Yeah. So, it's bad. It's really buggy.
Mm-hmm.
It had a cool story, a little bit. But also, yeah, it was a buggy mess.
Oh, yeah.
And, but I love that it's air quotations open world.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you can do them in whatever order you want, the gyms and all the other stuff, but they are leveled, and they don't level scale with you.
That's fucking hilarious.
So-
what's the point of that?
So, you can... So, I had a level...
Yeah.
So, what it is, there's no real set order of the gyms,
Yeah.
but there is a recommended order because, the level-wise.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I played through it, and the last gym is the 8th gym. It's the Psychic Gym.
Mm-hmm.
And her level Pokemon level 40... No, it's the Ice Gym, actually.
Yeah.
Her Pokemon level, 47. And the Psychic Gym is number 7.
Yeah.
I always end up doing... I just did the Ice Gym after the Ghost Gym, which is the 6th gym, because it's right next to the other one. And my
Yeah.
Pokemon were already high enough level.
Right. It's true.
So,
I gotta pick up the new Pokemon game. As much as I shouldn't.
it was actually good.
Yeah.
I had a good time with it.
I mean, you'd have a good time with anything with Pokemon attached to it. You've already
That's
you've
true.
already chosen your side when you bought the last fucking one. After I was like, do not buy that. That is literally going to encourage them to do worse.
And they
then
did.
what did they do, Derek?
They made it again.
Uh-huh.
This Pokemon game has sold 10.4 million copies.
Yep. And it's probably gonna sell amazingly, which means they're only gonna get worse.
And it's not even Christmas yet.
I'm sorry, you carrying that man into space was fucking
Dude,
hilarious.
I knocked him so far away, he zoned out. That is fucking hysterical to me.
Oh man. Anyways,
But yeah, they made a lot.
it's like Pokemon is never going to become a better franchise because it's literally always going to make its money.
Oh yeah. And the annoying thing is, I was kind of looking into this,
Yeah.
and there was just like, this is a buggy mess, they rushed it, blah blah blah. and I was
8
like,
out of
yes.
10. IGN.
9 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
But,
Fuck
so
it.
people were complaining about how it's a buggy mess and such.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, it's because it's been rushed.
yes.
There's clear signs of that.
Yep.
What people were saying they should have done, and I kind of agree with, was we had 2 Pokemon games this year. Not even 2 Pokemon games and a spin-off.
Yeah.
And a remake, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Legends Arceus,
Yeah.
and we had this one.
Yes.
Those were 2 original games by by Nintendo. Or by Game Freak.
Wait, what? Hold on. What was it? Two?
So we had Legends Arceus,
Yes.
which was one that actually I think you might want to play on the show because you might like that one.
Yeah.
Gen 9, Scarlet and Violet. Those 2 came out this year. Along
Oh,
with
yeah.
Diamond and Pearl remake.
Yeah, but they didn't make that.
They didn't make that one.
Yeah.
But they made 2 named games.
Yeah.
And
That's-
when Legends Arceus came out, it was kind of buggy. They could have pushed that back to this one and pushed the other one back till next year, and they would have been perfect.
They can't do that.
But they can't do that because they have to release at the same time as they release the cards and the other merch.
Yeah, cards, anime, merchandise.
Yep.
So they can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Set off an eternal
It's
loop
not a problem if they
everywhere.
just hired more fucking people to work
Whoa!
on it.
Whoa! Are you saying they should hire more people and put more people in the game company?
They just refuse to outsource it, and their team is microscopic.
Yeah. The credits are very small. going through that game.
Literally, like, Pokemon games make as much money as Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is a game built in less time, but with fucking, 10 fucking different studios
Yeah.
working on it
I was-
year-round.
I don't know if impressed is the right word, on
Yeah.
how many people worked on it. When you get to the end credits, I was just like, this is a shorter end credit than I feel like it should have been.
Yeah, because there's very little people. There's only 100 people that work at the Pokemon Company.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't even think there's 100. I think there's less than 100 people that work at the Pokemon Company. And they pump out a new fucking game every 2 years.
Yeah.
That's fucking nothing. They pump out a new game every 2 years because they have to make by the point. And it's just maybe, just maybe,
hire some-
expand your operations so you can actually make the fucking deadlines instead of literally dropping garbage. Because they don't have time to fix it. Because they already have to be making the next fucking Pokemon
There was a
game.
day 1 patch.
Yeah.
And then there was a week 1 patch.
Yeah,
Or
which
week
is just
2
gonna
patch,
make
actually.
which is just gonna make the next game even worse and more buggy because now they have to spend time fixing this one
No.
while they're building the other one.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. But
It's
that's very
literally
true.
only going to get worse.
That's-
Like they need to fix their shit now or push it back
Yeah.
or hire more fucking people like ASAP. At the bare minimum, they should be hiring people to do all the bug fixes for them.
I agree.
At the bare minimum.
So, they already showed that they can give Pokemon another... Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we're gonna pick it up in the next part then. We'll see you guys then. Peace.